Despite the challenges posed by the serious ongoing conflict, we have ensured that about 22,500 citizens have returned home safely.
One thing is appreciable and commendable rather, that the work that has been done by the Ministry of External Affairs, our diplomats, our missions abroad. It is not easy. It's an evacuation in the war.
A tense situation between Russia and Ukraine erupted into conflict on 24 February 2022. The root causes for this are complex, going back to a range of issues including the security architecture, political governance, and interstate politics. To that was added the challenges of implementing understandings reached earlier. What is pertinent to note is that the hostilities placed the Indian community of 20,000 plus in direct danger. Even while we were participating in the global deliberations of this evolving situation in the UN Security Council, the pressing challenge was to safeguard our citizens and ensure that they were not in harm's way. At the direction of the Prime Minister, we launched Operation Ganga, thereby undertaking one of the most challenging evacuation exercises during an ongoing conflict situation. Honorable members should know that our community was dispersed across Ukraine, posing its own logistical challenges. The exercise was undertaken at a time when military actions, including airstrikes and shelling, were underway. It involved movement in a war-torn situation in a large country, at times over 1,000 kilometers, and it required exiting border checkpoints that were clogged by an estimated 26 lakh refugees. The entire exercise involved a whole of the government approach, with the Prime Minister himself chairing review meetings almost on a daily basis. As tensions increased, the Embassy of India in Ukraine had started a registration drive for Indian nationals in January 2022. As a result, around 20,000 Indian nationals registered with our embassy in Kiev. Most of the Indian nationals were students who were pursuing medical studies in Ukrainian universities that were dispersed throughout the country. More than half the students were in universities in eastern Ukraine that borders Russia and has been the epicenter of conflict so far. Students hailed from 35 states and UTs of India, with more than 1,000 students each from the states of Kerala, UP, Haryana, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Bihar, and Rajasthan. In view of the continued build-up of tensions in February, the embassy issued an advisory on 15 February 2022 advising Indian nationals in Ukraine whose stay is not essential to leave the country temporarily. It also advised Indian nationals not to travel to Ukraine or to undertake non-essential movements within Ukraine. Members will appreciate that such advisories are extremely unusual and that very issue is itself a serious caution. Further advisories were also given on 20 February and 22 February, pressing students to leave Ukraine. Air bubble restrictions then in force were immediately lifted in consultation with the Ukrainian side to increase the number of direct flights. As a result, around 4,000 Indian nationals departed from Ukraine by direct and indirect flights till 23 February 2022. Despite our efforts, however, a large majority of students elected to continue staying in Ukraine.
There were many requests that I had received personally, and there was one occasion when I reached out to India's Foreign Secretary at 1 in the morning, and I got the response back at 1:22, and the student was contacted and taken out and taken to the border. There were many more cases where I have the names when prompt responses by the control room were there. Since those officers who were doing this work are not present here, I considered it my duty to place on record our appreciation and for the good work. At any time of day and night, those officers were available. Sir, I am also proud as an Indian that our country has once again reaffirmed its sterling record in such situations when Indian Air Force and Indian Navy has risen to the occasions. As you would recall, sir, in 70s in Beirut, in Lebanon, Gulf War, Iran-Iraq conflict, and umpteen occasions when our officers, our Air Force, and our Navy undertook large-scale evacuation operations. Therefore, we are happy that our students have been brought back, most of them safe. There is one tragedy which could not have been helped, but we were worried about Kharkiv and Sumy, that whether they can be evacuated until the very end, and therefore it's a big relief for the nation. And also what I have noted in the statement is about the coordination with the states so that those who were brought back